Right then, today we're going to look at pencil tone, and we said earlier that we've got all these little numbers and letters on the end of our pencils here. This one's a 2B. And I've got quite a large range of them to show you here today. When you're drawing, you don't need to use all of these pencils, but I'm just going to try and show you what the letters and numbers mean. So this is the pencil you're used to seeing, a HB, and they go, H stands for hard. It means the pencil lead itself is harder, it's mixed with a harder wax, and it makes it more difficult for the black graphite in the pencil to rub off on your paper. B is for black, and I've got right down to a 6B here, which will make a really black mark. You can even see it will write easily on my finger, not that we need to. Okay, so let's start with a HB. This is the one you're used to writing with every day. It's right in the middle of the scale. It's not too hard, it's not too soft, that's why it's good for writing. It won't make too black a mark, and it won't be so pale that I can't see it on the paper. The pencil tone is about how the range of different tones I can make with one pencil. So if I go from pressing really lightly and shading, pressing harder and harder as I go down, what range of tones can I get with that one pencil? You can see I can get quite black with a HB. That's not too bad. As the pencils get harder, it's easier to make those lighter, delicate tones, but they have less range of colour. Even though I'm pressing really hard, they don't get really black. And obviously 2H I pressed a little hard to start off with then. H. So the H pencils are useful for making really delicate little light tones, for sketching very lightly, or for doing areas where they're very bright in your picture when you want to add the colours. You won't accidentally, with a 4H, make a really dark tone. Right then, if we go down our B's, B's for black, and I can make a much darker mark. I can still press very lightly, but I should be able to get more tones with my pencil. It's easier for me to make different shades. It is harder to get the very pale ones. As you can see, as I'm getting down to 5B and 6B, it's hard for me with the 6B to make a very light tone. However, I've probably got more control over all the tones in between, right down to a really dark mark. So why is this useful to us? Most artists would probably use something in the B range for normal sketching, because they can make very light marks and suitably dark marks. And we don't just use a pencil. Let's find a 2B, like I'm pointing out. We don't just use a pencil for drawing our lines, like we were talking about earlier. So I'm going to have a look at some of these objects here. I might start out with those light lines, finding the shape like we were talking about before. It's not going to be the best cube in the world. We can also use our pencils to make things look more 3D, to give them some texture and some tone. So I can start adding a medium tone to this side of the box. then I might choose a darker pencil again for my 4B. But this side has got less light on it. The light's coming from over there in the window. And this side is getting a lot less of that light on it. And those darker, because I can press dark with this pencil, I can create different shades and different tones and start to make my box look more real. Now I still think there's some dark down that corner. It might be difficult for you to see from above. I'm going to choose one of my paler pencils to add the detail to the top, so I don't go too dark. I can still see that there's a surface there that needs some detail adding to it. Okay, so the different tones of the pencil allow us to represent the objects that we see in front of us. Lastly, to make my object look much more real, I'm going to go for my 6B and add some of that shadow in to show that it's actually sitting on a table. Now this is a very quick sketch for your benefit. It's not the best sketch in the world. But I think you'll start to see why the different tones you can get with your pencils are important.